Hello, I'm Philip Stoughton. I'm here at Apex 2025 and I'm with Augusto on the booth of Critical Manufacturing. Augusto, pleasure to chat. We last spoke in Munich at Electronica.
That's true.
I'm kind of curious to start with the differences, what you're seeing in terms of the differences in terms of demand here as opposed to in Europe.
Well, I think that in terms of demands for systems, there are not much differences. It's just a little bit more in terms of the current market situation and the willingness to take the next
invest.
steps.
Yeah.
So if in Europe we saw a little bit more of a solid approach and willingness, hey, we need to do something in Europe, we need to bring back manufacturing to Europe, and that's a kind of a common sentence and a common wording that we hear from everyone. In this trade show, despite the fact that it's been quite a, I would have to say, successful trade show, although there's still one day to go, compared with last year, we saw more people, we had more meetings already, and still roughly one day to go. But at the same time, not wanting to curse myself, but we see also some hesitation in taking the next steps.
I think hesitation is a little bit unsurprising because I think, I've talked to a lot of people about the tariff situation. And I think there is a school of people, particularly in Mexico, for example, that want a specific outcome. But for everybody else, it's much more about, can I get some clarity? Can I get some visibility so I can plan the future of my business and I can make investments? And I think until we get that, it's really hard for the EMS guys.
And this is cross, let's say, I would dare to say industries, and not only related with electronics. So we are together this week with our shareholder ASMPT, that basically sells the machines that we then connect to. But the outlook hopefully will be positive. We just need to be patient.
I think so. And there's a sense that what's coming behind this is a bit of a renaissance in manufacturing and that desire to grow manufacturing in the USA, and if you're going to have tariffs everywhere else, you're going to have to do that.
That's something we'll have to live with.
But there are challenges in doing that. There's a talent challenge, and part of the way out of that talent challenge is much better automation of not just in terms of equipment, but in terms of process, business processes. Is that somewhere you feel you've really got a sweet spot to be able to help?
That relates to the efficiency that we want to introduce in the processes as an MES company. Because the world is getting more and more competitive every day that passes. We have, let's say, almost, I would dare to say, external factors related with the geopolitical situation, with the tariffs, with all the other things,
everything else that's going on.
So I think that the factories and the manufacturing organizations, what they need to bet on if they want to stay competitive is in becoming more efficient. And that relates with investments that they need to make to put this strategy in place.
It becomes very challenging. And when you look at it from a European point of view, I don't know, we're in America, it's good to talk about what's going on in Europe as well. We've just seen the German elections, we've just seen everybody raising their debt ceiling for spend, particularly on defense, but also I think Germany has just passed a bill of 900 billion, of which half is defense, half is infrastructure. Do you think that will drive a bit of impetus in Germany, but also in the rest of Europe?
It will, because then the industry is somehow adapting and transforming itself, in my view, that's a personal view, unfortunately, transforming itself to a military.
I agree.
To a military factor, or to a military, let's say, focused. So to that extent, if we abstract ourselves of that
the moral question,
there will be electronics factories producing military equipment. There will be assembly factories. There will be, even if you go back in the supply chain, semiconductors dedicated to aerospace and defense. So a kind of wording for military, right? So
it has an impact.
So the defense industry for us, if we abstract ourselves, is like any other type of industry. With processes, with things that need to be optimized, that need to be standardized. So that's, of course, also an opportunity for companies like ours.
Yeah, I'm kind of with you on the moral question. What always upsets me, Augusto, is that whenever there's a growth in defense spending, there's a reduction in aid spending, and I don't know why that's the column they always steal it out of, but it just feels like the wrong choice every time. Ignoring that, because we'll get into a big political area there.
That's true.
Let's focus on the EMS companies for a moment. It feels like at the moment, because of where we are, they need to really create a footprint that's agile and that they can move product from factory to factory really quickly. Again, if they've got the right systems in place, they've got the right MES system, that's easier.
Exactly. So that's a good segue, because that also relates to requirements that EMS companies need to fulfill in terms of regulatory requirements, for example. So more and more such companies are compelled to invest in systems that, in one hand, ensure that compliance. And I don't want to go back to the military term, but that's highly regulated.
Absolutely.
Industry. But if we go automotive, medical arena, and so on, so those have a quite, let's say, strict regulations that are imposed. And the investment in a solution that needs to be integrated, and it needs to capture data, that needs to be able to deal not only with traceability, but with the flexibility and the degree of information that the data is captured provides to optimize the processes is, in my view, of course, is a must. Right? Because it's long time gone where it's just as good as buying a machine, and then the machine has a nice throughput, and then I manufacture my parts. So those times are gone. So it needs to be a good combination between physical equipment and systems that connect, that provides the context, and the context is essential here. It's not only the machine data, it's also the process data. It needs to be contextualized, and it needs to be captured for, of course, using that data for analysis and to apply intelligent algorithms to go towards the artificial intelligence capabilities. But you need all those things in a system, and that's paramount.
And that's what you guys are doing. I think one of the other areas that people have been talking to me about is they're still having a huge amount of pain with their supply chain. You know, we've had that inventory bubble work its way through the system. That's been painful. We now have bill of materials that we don't know where the tariffs are going to be on it, so that's complicated. So connecting everything they do all the way through their goods inward process, through their purchasing process, has become a really important part of that systems thinking.
It adds another variable to the equation, at least another variable to the equation. But it also relates to that portion where the MES is a cornerstone, because in the MES you are consuming raw materials that are produced by a supplier, and the supplier may come from a region where tariffs are applied, and another supplier may not. But it's not only related to the cost of that raw material, because if that is related only to the cost, you just buy the cheapest.
But then you figure out the landed cost. And the quality and the performance.
And then you process a certain material in a certain machine, and then by capturing this contextualized information, you probably realize that although there is
we're saving a cent, we're spending $1 somewhere else.
Exactly. So that correlation of factors, I'm producing this raw material that is coming from a country where additional taxes are applied, but this product is working much more efficient in this machine at a certain temperature to produce this type of products, opposed to the other one that is cheaper, that is probably more efficient for lower end products or whatsoever, but at the same time works pretty well in that other machine that I have from a different generation and produce the same quality of products.
This is why you need that holistic thinking, isn't it? You need that holistic thinking, but that holistic data to make better data-driven solutions, and that's essential.
And this is actually a point where we are strongly investing at the moment, because with our platform, with our data platform, we are not dealing only with the MES data, we are dealing with the rest of the data that we can get from equipment, that we can get from external systems, that we can get from DRP that relates with the costing of the supply chain and the different supply chain factors. With everything in a contextualized environment, in a standardized format. And then we apply learnings on top of that.
And running scenarios and giving options.
And those learnings are a very important step towards the optimization of such processes.
It makes a huge difference. Augusto, I always enjoy our chats. We could talk all day, we shouldn't. Thanks so much for your time and look forward to chatting the next time.
We could keep talking forever, you know?
Absolutely. Until next time.
Okay.